The USS Gerald R. Ford is America's newest aircraft carrier. It is 1,092 feet long, has a crew of 5,500, and can carry more than 75 aircraft at once. It weighs over 100,000 tons. This video demonstrates that all of these factors require a gigantic anchor and chain to hold the ship steady. The anchor and chain system aboard the USS Ford is quite hefty. The anchor weighs 30,000 pounds. The chain is 1,440 feet long and each link weighs 136 pounds. However, this combination is lighter than those installed in the bigger Nimitz-class aircraft carriers. The footage depicts sailors on the Ford treating the anchor chain as if it were a chain dragon. One sailor drives out the pins holding the chain with a sledgehammer. The second sailor holds a strap tied to the first sailor's back in case he becomes entangled in the first moving chain. It is evident that once the chains begin to move, it will be difficult, if not impossible, to stop it in an emergency. The $12.9 billion aircraft carrier is the first ship in 40 years and the first new class of aircraft carriers. It will be followed by the USS John F. Kennedy aircraft. Enterprise Ford is anticipated to undertake her first foreign trip in 2022. The requirements for anchor chain lengths vary depending on the warship's size, weight, and the type of water she will be operating in, ranging from actual warships to the largest vessels such as the USS Nimitz class and the new USS Gerald R. Ford class aircraft carriers, which are 100,000 tons each. First, the Nimitz class contains two 30-ton anchors that are connected to 12 lengths of chain 180 fathoms long, or 1,080 feet, or shackles. The steel connections weigh 164 kilograms each, which adds around 10 additional tons when aboard. Regarding chain length, the Nimitz class is the shortest at 333 meters. However, the longest chain is now on the new class of aircraft carriers, beginning with the USS Gerald R. Ford. This new class has a chain length of 1,440 feet or 439 meters. They have made the anchor significantly lighter at 30,000 pounds or 50 tons, effectively halving its weight. The calculation of the size of the anchor required for all ships, not just warships, as well as the required length of anchor chain is based on a number known as the equipment number, which is derived from the ship's displacement, maximum height and breadth, and projected lateral surface area. All the above dimensions are assumed to be taken at the summer load line. The boatswain's mates of USS Nimitz CVN-68 are creating history as the first sailors to remove an aircraft carrier's anchor and chain without subcontracting the work to civilians. A mere 190-foot length of chain that weighs a total of 20,500 pounds is composed of 57 links, each weighing 350 pounds and weighing a total of 57,500 pounds. Given that the average individual weighs less than 200 pounds, it is reasonable to say that removing the anchors and chains from the Nimitz is no easy process. This is the first time something like this has been done, according to boatswain's mate, second class Jacob Brill, a petty officer in charge of the ships focusing on lowering the anchor. Typically, this is a job for the contractors, who would normally be in the focus and down in the barge, as well as the ones doing all the sandblasting. The deck department was faced with the difficult task of removing the 60,000-pound anchors from the ship's starboard and port sides to do preventative maintenance and ensure the ship's readiness to rejoin the fleet next year. We put the anchors onto a barge with two tugboats linked to its sides to guarantee it is in the correct location, said Brill. The anchor must lay in a specific orientation to prevent it from toppling. Working with the anchor is intense, according to seaman Jordan Fountain, because laying down the anchor is quite slow and requires many more safeguards than deck sailors are accustomed to. This poses a significantly higher risk of injury compared to doing routine maintenance. After the anchor was removed, the anchor chain had to be lowered gently and repeatedly, one shot at a time. Each shot weighs 20,500 pounds, making it impossible for a single person to move it. The tugboats were required to position the barge, according to Brill. Once the anchor chain has been removed, the detachable links must be taken apart, oiled, reconnected, and then sanded. Once the anchor chain has been removed, work may begin to preserve it. Once this is accomplished, the sailors can verify that they have not been worn down and that there is no excessive movement between them. It's for the general preservation of the anchor and chain and to prevent it from rusting, explained Brill. Because when we anchor at sea, the anchor sits on the ocean floor and soaks up seawater before being placed back in the chain locker. It simply sits and allows rust to form. There was very little contractor engagement, which first alarmed several sailors in the deck department who had been discussing and planning the evolution for quite some time before arriving at the yards. You're stressed when you're doing it because you don't want to make a mistake, and you don't want anyone to get hurt. According to Fondant, I feel confident but not complacent. The more you do it, the less stress you get. but I think anxiety and worry will always be present. Despite the stress brought on by this new task to many sailors involved, the opportunity to do something so important with little assistance from outside workers was appreciated. Boatswain's mates are a very proud group to begin with, but to be the first carrier to accomplish something like this is a significant deal for us. It's a lot of fun and excellent training. Sailors new to deck and anchor detail undergo training nearly every week to ensure they know the necessary methods for safely raising and lowering the anchor. This maintenance enables them to learn the correct techniques. Even more, there is no better training than hands-on, remarked Brill. Seeing and working with it is the finest way to learn something, and that is exactly what we can do. And that's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section below. I hope that you find this video interesting. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. See you in the following video with some more latest updates. Until then, stay tuned.